Hey everybody! Welcome to the Turtle and the Bear podcast. I'm Turtle.
And I'm Bear, and today we're talking about our troubled tummies.
Yay!
Oh, the great fun that is.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off with allergies.
Yeah. You have quite a few.
I was gonna say, do you want me to go first?
I mean, we can just get mine
done
with. Mine's quite simple. I have difficulties digesting gluten, so I am...
Not quite celiac, though.
I probably am.
Yeah.
Based on my reactions. And let's just quickly go over the definition of celiac. So it is an autoimmune disorder, and it's chronic, so it
can't be cured.
Well,
basically.
Yeah, there are cures nowadays where you can get microdoses. There's AIDS, yes. So basically, celiac disease is a chronic autoimmune disorder that causes the small intestine to become damaged and unable to absorb nutrients from food. It's triggered by consuming gluten, a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. Basically,
which is in everything.
Yeah. So when someone with celiac disease eats gluten, their immune system attacks the small intestine.
Oh, fun.
And then it damages it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So in the small intestine, there's these little things called the villi on the inside, which just helps with absorbing nutrients, because the more surface area, the more that can be absorbed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Same with the brain, the more...
Yeah.
We get where we're going.
Yeah.
So with those little guys damaged, it can lead to malnutrition, even if the person is eating properly.
Oof. That sucks.
Yeah. And if you are celiac or you just have a gluten intolerance, you can be bloated, have bad bowel movements,
stomach
pains, like your skin can be red.
Yeah, I remember when we were growing up, you had little bumps on your arms.
I had, so from going to just below my shoulder to just above my elbow.
Kind of like where your bingo wings are.
Kind of, yeah. I had this...
What are those called? Traps?
I had these big rashes on either side of my on both arms.
Yeah.
And I was really self-conscious about them for years. Because it was like, it was the first thing that people would point out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, your arms are really red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
I know how they look, thanks.
I've been gluten-free since I was, I think, 15?
I was going to say 15, something like that.
I think I was 15 when I went gluten-free.
Yeah.
And I think it took about 3 months for the bloating to start going down a lot.
Well, yeah, you were like used to having gluten, so it took that long to get the gluten proteins out.
It takes a full 6 months for gluten to be completely out of, but probably a little bit longer to be out of your system fully.
Yeah. And
then I think by 6 months to a year, is when the rashes on my arms started to go away. And then that's when I had a kind of a light bulb moment. Oh, my body was basically having a reaction
and spitting out the gluten protein through your arms.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And that's actually, it can happen to some people.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate. And I also have another condition called rosacea, and we'll go over that another day. But basically, it's redness on the cheeks, nose, chin.
Yeah.
It's on the face.
Redness on your face.
And
it basically looked like rosacea was on your arms too.
Yeah, it did, but that went away.
Yeah.
And when I went gluten-free, my redness on my cheeks got better.
Yeah.
And actually...
Well, I mean, that makes sense, because like when you get anaphylactic, you do get red.
Yeah.
So if you are highly allergic to gluten, like when you are celiac, I guess that makes sense.
Like everything, there's a spectrum of celiac disease. So there is the anaphylactic level.
Yeah.
And then there's the, ow, my tummy hurts and I'm a little gassy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a little bit further in Yeah. And it's really frustrating because gluten can be,
it's hidden in everything.
it's hidden. It can be very sneaky.
Well, yeah, like
so,
you just found out your capsules.
Yeah, so I'm taking these supplements, and I'm not going to say the brand.
Yes.
But
well, it's not just that specific brand. It's just some capsules have
some
that.
capsules. The contents of the capsule, it does say on the bottle, does not contain gluten, but smelling the bottle, it smells like
wheat.
It smells like wheat seeds.
Yeah, like if you took a big stalk of grab a handful of wheat from a field, that's what it smelled like.
Okay, yeah. So, and I think it's been about a week since I stopped taking it.
Something like that, yeah. Almost a week.
So I've been basically unintentionally micro poisoning myself for like 6 months, and
wondering why you're feeling like crap.
Yeah, I was noticing that I'm really bloated, and my cheeks were quite red.
Me, I poisoned myself on purpose.
So, yeah, being gluten-free is a little frustrating sometimes because we want to go out to eat, and I'm just like, there is like 3 options for me here, and
yeah,
I don't like.
And then there's times where you just say fluff it and get what you want and suffer through the consequences, but that's rarely.
Very rarely
for you.
Yeah.
I am allergic, not intolerant. I'm allergic to dairy.
Mm-hmm.
So most times, I found this out through my doctor. Most times when you're lactose intolerant, the lactose is the protein in dairy.
Yeah.
So you can get lactose-free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I am allergic to dairy. It doesn't matter if it's lactose-free or not. I have a reaction.
Have you tried goat's milk?
I don't think so. I mean, I like goat cheese. That doesn't seem to have a problem.
You can try goat's milk. It's a little bit more expensive, but
I'm just fine killing my boyfriend with my butt. He's not so fine with it.
So apart from the dairy allergy, what else do you
have? So it's a long list. I found out I have something called oral allergy syndrome. And basically I am allergic to grass, birch, and ragweed. And if any fruit or vegetable is grown around that, the pollen of the grass, birch, and ragweed get into the flesh of the fruit and then if I eat it, I have an adverse reaction. Like my mouth gets really itchy, my ears get itchy, my throat, and it's just not fun. So eating healthy is something I struggle with
to do.
Well, yeah, especially because I love fresh fruit and vegetables. I absolutely love it. I recently found out I'm probably allergic to potatoes too, but
which is
that sucks because they're delicious. But I'm also found out I am highly allergic to sunflowers. I was at my mother-in-law's baseball game, and I was eating sunflower seeds because we used to eat them all the time when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. So I was eating them, and I went into anaphylactic shock.
Oh no!
And my throat closed. I didn't say anything until the baseball game was done.
Fair.
I was like, yeah, I think I'm allergic to these, huh? And he's like, why? And I'm like, because I can't breathe. And then yeah, so finding stuff healthy to eat is difficult, and also finding stuff that doesn't have sunflower.
Sunflower oil is
very popular.
Almost worse than gluten.
It's very popular. It's in some chocolates. It's in just bread, everything.
That sucks.
It sucks. And then I also, on top of that, you'd think that would be enough, right? That's enough slices.
Oh no, that's.
I got COVID at the beginning of the year of 2019, and New Year's Day, I got COVID.
Was that when it was still coming out?
Yes. Or no, maybe it was 2019.
I think it was at the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020.
No, it was 2021 that I got it because it was a year after the whole thing started. Because I was like, I went through a whole year of COVID and didn't get it. Anyway, I got it New Year's Day.
Oh no.
And so because of that, one of the side effects that you can get is something called parosmia.
What is that?
Yeah, it basically means It's a condition that distorts a person's sense of smell, making it difficult for the brain to identify an odor's natural scent. Basically, I can't eat specific things or be near specific things because they smell rotten or burnt or just disgusting.
That sucks.
They don't smell good. I have issues with popcorn, eggs, chicken, fries, like anything that's like that kind of thing that's not heavily seasoned. So like I can have fries, but they have to be like ketchup. Like I have to have ketchup with them.
Or like with poutine or
Eggs,
something.
I have to douse them in like I can't eat them just plain with salt and pepper. I have to like make a sandwich out of them with like a lot of other ingredients.
Or with salsa or something.
Exactly. Popcorn, it is coming back to me that I can eat it, but it still does not smell good. It's one of those things that smells bad but tastes good to me.
Which is weird.
Very weird. And then on top of all of that, still more stuff, I have something called IBS, which is called irritable bowel syndrome. It's a common functional gastrointestinal order that affects the large intestine and causes abdominal pain or discomfort, bloating, and changes to the bowel habits. So basically, my tummy's just angry and wants to hurt me.
And the thing about irritable bowel IBS, it can sometimes be confused with celiac disease, and vice versa, because the symptoms are so similar.
Yeah.
Because both experience gas and pain.
Well, yeah,
and
exactly.
Digestive
it's
issues.
a gastrointestinal problem.
Yeah.
To do with your large intestine, so it's
the
same areas.
Yeah, except the main difference is IBS is in the large intestine, and celiac disease is in the small intestine.
Oh, right, you did say that. I swear I'm here. I promise. Half here. I've only had one Red Bull.
Apart from that, where it is located in the body in a digestive tract, the symptoms look very similar.
Yeah.
So
maybe I don't have IBS. Maybe I'm gluten intolerant. Add to the allergy medication type things. Let's add to the list.
You could be
things.
IBS.
I could have both. Who knows?
I could
add to my alphabet.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. Yeah.
I just think I'm just kind of frustrated that I was micro poisoning myself for months.
I told Chicken that, and he and I both laughed at the thought of you like microdosing yourself.
It's funny, but not at the same time.
It's funny, but it's irritating because
I was harming my body.
They should have to diet not diagnose. They should have to
say
disclose.
What disclose what
they should have to disclose what the capsules are made of, and say, hey, this is not actually gluten free. Yeah, just because the contents don't have gluten.
And Ducky's like, oh, it's gluten free. It says it doesn't contain gluten.
No, the contents of the capsule don't contain gluten. The capsule itself does. Yeah. And that sucks.
And you can tell that just by smelling it.
And gluten is like...
And the fact that I've stopped taking it and I'm starting to feel better.
Yeah.
Speaks
that
volumes.
Says everything. But like, gluten isn't just... They can't just say, yeah, there's gluten in this. It's hidden with like barley.
Well, yeah, so like some cereals.
I was gonna say, what's the one that Rice Krispie?
It's Rice Krispies.
Yeah, what is it?
So they used to be gluten free, but then they changed their recipe and they use barley malt now.
Malt, that's what it was.
So it's not gluten free anymore.
Yeah, and it's very like, unless you know exactly what you're looking for, it's easy enough to miss, and you can do more damage to yourself.
Well, like Cheerios, for instance.
Yeah,
they are gluten free.
Yeah,
like if you look at the ingredients, it is gluten free, but they can't say gluten free anymore
because
it's not made in a gluten free factory.
So there's cross contamination possible.
Yeah,
and I get that, but yeah, our tummies just are angry. We've got lots of troubles with them.
It's funny because I remember sometimes my dad would be making dinner, because I would ask him earlier in the evening. I said, do I need to make my own dinner? He'd say, oh no, I'm making dinner. And then so I'd come down, I would get the call, dinner's ready, around 6, and then I would come downstairs, and then he would look at me and go, I just realized you can't have this.
Oh no. Well, it'd be difficult after you being not gluten-free for so long. And then changing it's like...
This was after like 6, 7 years of me being gluten
That's funny.
free.
Again, it's funny, but it's not. But it's funny.
It is, and he always
Oh yeah,
he always
I know
felt
your dad
bad.
would feel bad.
And this one thing that stands out, he went to the store, and because I was running out of my gluten-free bread, and I said, Dad, can you buy me some more bread? And he bought me bread, but it was keto,
Not gluten-free.
not gluten-free.
Oh no.
And I took one look at it, and I said, Dad, I love you so much, but I can't eat this. He's like, but it's keto. I said, yes, but it's not gluten free.
My family does that with my sunflower. They think like switch sunflower and sesame.
Oh, because sesame is another common allergy.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, sunflower is not common. When I said I was allergic to sunflower to my doctor, he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was dying over here."
It was, yeah.
Oh, I remember one of the first times, like just after I had that anaphylactic problem.
Did you have to go to the hospital for
No,
that?
I never went to the hospital.
Oh
I did go to a doctor, an allergy specialist, and they gave me an EpiPen just to be safe. Because they always, no matter what with food, whether you're anaphylactic or not, if it's a food allergy, you should have an EpiPen because they have that possibility of being anaphylactic, whether you had that problem or not in the past. So I had 2 EpiPens. And I forgot that I was allergic because I'm not used, like, it was right at the start. I'm not used to being allergic to sunflowers. I used to eat them, right? And my boyfriend's grandparents had made this salad, and it looked so good. It was like just iceberg lettuce, goat cheese, or some sort of curd cheese, and strawberries and sunflower seeds.
That sounds tasty.
And and I had it, and then after I was like, I curled up on my boyfriend's bed and just like cried because I was in so much pain. And I was like, I forgot. Because he came in, he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I forgot. I'm allergic. He's like, oh, is there anything I could do? And I'm like, no, just let me die.
This is crappy part about food allergies. If you accidentally ingest it. So I'm not talking about like what I did. I'm talking about like if I had pasta or a slice of regular bread.
Yeah.
It was basically what happened to you.
Yeah, you're just
would be in pain.
It feels like someone stabbed you in the stomach.
It does, because your stomach is no longer used to digesting that type of protein. And I remember, I think this is the same year that I went gluten-free. I think 3 or 4 months afterwards. So again, my body is now used to not digesting gluten. But I think at this point I was still eating crackers, which is bad, but I had got rid of like 90% of gluten out of my diet.
Yeah.
And now I'm at almost 100%. I'm just trying to make sure that there's no hidden stuff. But my mom and we went to visit a friend, and she had forgotten to tell her that I was gluten free. And I was going to say, I can't have this. And my mom's just like, just eat it. I was in pain for 5 hours.
Yeah, it's not fun. That is the benefit of me with IBS, because with irritable bowel, you do digest stuff a lot faster. So I wasn't in pain as long. So it wasn't as bad because...
I don't know if it was 5 hours, but it felt like a really long time. It
felt like forever, right?
I know it was at least 3.
Well, that's the thing. If I eat something, it's going to be coming out in like half an hour.
Yeah, no.
That is the joy, I guess, of being with irritable bowel. But
and then with that difference, I definitely think you do have IBS, and you're not you don't need to cut gluten. Although I think it might benefit you.
It might help. You never know.
But so that day, my mom went, "I'm never gonna do that again. I'm so sorry."
You're right. You won't.
I couldn't even stand up properly.
Oh yeah, no. You just want to curl in a ball and die. Oh, worst things ever. I mean, I haven't given birth, so I can't say it's the worst pain ever.
It's the worst thing that we have experienced personally.
Do you know the worst pain you can actually receive is 2nd-degree burns? Side tangent, sorry. But it's because the burn is still happening and your nerve endings haven't died. So with 3rd-degree burns, everything's done.
Yeah.
Everything, nerve endings.
First-degree burns, it's not completely.
And yeah, 1st-degree burns aren't as painful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the 2nd-degree is the most painful thing you can get. And I'm just like, that's lovely. The more you know.
Mm-hmm.
Side tangent, sorry. ADHD. But yes, that has been our enjoying of our troubled tummies. And there's probably going to be more down the line.
Probably.
I know I've got lots of stomach problems in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always fun. I'm just waiting for the day I get stomach cancer, like my uncle.
I hope that day is very, very
I hope that day never comes, but...
And never comes.
But yes.
Yeah,
that's been our fun times with tummies.
Yeah. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much at the beginning for you guys, but...
That is basically our podcast, is rambling. ADHD rambles.
I hope you have been entertained and maybe learned a little bit more.
Are you not entertained?
And if...
Red Bull, sorry.
If any of our symptoms that we listed off, and you're like, oh wait, I kind of have that.
Yeah, and there is like ways to treat these things without going to see a doctor, or even going to see a doctor or a dietitian or a nutritionist.
One thing I do wish that I did before I went gluten-free is that I wish I had got tested for celiac for that, because I can't get tested for it now.
Why?
Because it has to be in your blood.
Oh.
It has to be in your system. Yeah. And yes, I
You're not willing to do that to yourself?
No, and no.
Just no.
even just taking the small amount that was in that capsule.
Yeah, tortured you.
I wasn't in pain. It was just
discomfort.
I was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not eating anything that should be making me feel this way.
You don't want to feel uncomfy.
So, yeah, that's the one thing I regret not getting done, is getting officially tested.
But there is like ways you can change, like your lifestyle. You can do more exercise, diet for sure. Even with like all of my other stuff. Yes, you do eat lots of rice. But there's lots of different ways, and if you think you might have it, talk to your doctor. Always
don't do what I did.
With your doctor.
Get the blood test done before you go gluten-free.
Yes. But yeah, that's been our troubled tummies, and we appreciate you coming out for the podcast.
And I know we're a day late on the podcast. Sorry. It's been a little busy around here.
Yeah, it's been a fun time.
But we're gonna do our best to not be late again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode.
We've got social media. All of our links are on Facebook, The Turtle and the Bear. And we will see you next time.
Bye.